Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, we're going to talk about Rick Hinderer Knives' new Project X. I cannot wait for that. We take a look at a Josh Mason knife, Bright for War. He was on the show not too recently. I bought one of his knives, and it is exquisite. We'll take a look at that. And then, fidget much? Why? We're going to talk about fidgeting, and we're going to go deep. Well, at least I'll present to you a theory and see what you think. Uh, Dave, how's it going? Evening, y'all, fidgety knife junkies. How's it going, man? It's good to have you here as always. We have Blade Ogre with us. Hello, Chris, the Blade Ogre. Michael Morgan, always a pleasure, Michael Morgan. Good evening, Bob and Jim. Well, good evening, sir. 9198 David. Evening, everyone. Well, evening to you, David. Blood Groove Knife Reviews. Do like the name. Blood Groove is in. Let the party begin. Hello, all. Sorry for the Biden whisper. I don't know why I do that. James Moore. James, it's a pleasure to see you. He's been showing off his Lispect lately. Got massive respect for David Lispect. D-Bass says, good evening, Bob, Jim, and everyone. Well, good evening. Hey, I'm counting on you all to help chase away this headache. Actually, I feel better almost already. Maybe it's the sound of my own voice in my headphones. Just soothing the head. Quack, good to have you here, Quack. Hello, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Quack, always a pleasure, sir. Snuzz Nuzz. Hey, folks. Hope everyone is feeling good. Yeah, I'm getting better every moment. Hero Sticks, how's it going? It's getting harder and harder every day to box up those knives, Hero. No, I am just kidding, but I do need them this weekend to finish up. There are 2 more videos I want to make, and then they're back on their way. But man, what awesome knives you loaned me. Thank you so much, sir. Gear ND, good to have you. Yo, what's up, OG? Yeah, old being the operative word. Nick EDC, or hey everyone, Bob, Jim. Hello, Nick. Good to have you here with us. Talking Knives with G-Man W. How's it going, G-Man? He asks, how's it going, guys? It's going great here. Hero Sticks, take your time. Yeah, that's dangerous. No, not really. Of course, we'll get them back to you. But I had a recent experience. I started with the family going back to the old martial arts school, and it's been so awesome. And we're taking private lessons, and getting the girls are into it. My older daughter can hit really hard, and she's got great knees and elbows too, incidentally. But my buddy Ian, I'm like, let me see your Bastinelli. Can I see your new Alpha 1? I take it. I'm like, can I borrow it? And he's like, no, you can have it for 60 seconds to make your video. I know how you keep my knives. I'm sorry. Can you go back to James Moore? I want to see what he said. Did you see that CKF? Oh, yeah. We'll do a production version of a Lispect design. I haven't seen it, but I have heard it. And that sounds like a marriage made in heaven right there. On the Edge 72, good to have you here. Best night of the week. Hello, fellow junkies. I agree with you, and my wife and I have long said, well, when we were in New York, we thought it was cool to say this. We're like, Thursday's the night, Friday, Saturday, it's amateur night. It's bridge and tunnel night. It's when, Thursday night is the night, and I couldn't agree more. And look, here we are, years later. I'm no longer cool, and I'm 15 pounds heavier. But hey, Thursday is still the night. D-Bass says, you have a nice, soothing voice, Bob. Hey, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I do indeed. I actually do some voiceover stuff at work, and it's fun because when people don't give me direction, like I want this kind of read or that kind of read, I'll give them several different ones, and it's fun, when you have the volume turned up in your ears and you're right up next to the mic, you can play with your voice. And I was trying to do sort of a Barry White, and it fell flat. Kep McNessart, good to have you here. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Well, it's always a pleasure, and you were on my mind before because I was going through where was I? I was on some website, but it was something, not one I go to normally. I was following links for Bark River knives, and I was looking at the big old Canadian, big one. I thought it was almost a Bowie knife. It had like a coffin shaped handle, but the blade was sort of teardropped. It was cool. Bob, what martial art do you practice with your family? I'm eager to find something that works for my girls. I have 4. Oh, manaj. God love you. Girls are the best. I love them. But yeah, learning to fight is good. I would would easily put them in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think that's great for girls. What we're doing is Mastro Defense System, MDS. He's Fred Mastro. He's like, he's not like, he's a Belgian guy who's a master in C-Lot, but he was also a bouncer and did a lot of executive protection. So he practicalized, if that's the word. It looks a lot like Kempo karate. Some of the stuff looks like some of the self-defense techniques I was learning in Kempo karate. But I was doing Kali and JKD with the same guy, so we understand that, which is great. And I've noticed that I lose my conditioning. Hey, Knives Fast, it's good to have you here, Casey. We have Casey here. Happy Thursday night. I lose my my wind pretty quickly, and my strength. It's not like I'm getting stronger by not working out. So, but the techniques and that kind of stuff, it's still there, and the muscle memory is there. So I just got to get my wind back, and I'm going to become a specimen. You'll see it week after week. You'll be like, who is this hulking figure behind the mic? And where is the mic? It's drowned out by all those gigantic rippling muscles. I mean, that's how it's going to be in a matter of weeks if I just put my mind to it. Let's get to a pocket check. Because I've been carrying things. Actually, one of the things I didn't give in notes to Jim, he likes to have lower thirds. I like him to have lower thirds for all of these, but I dropped this first one in the pocket today, and it was there unnoticed. I didn't use it, but I love it. So I forgot to mention it in my notes, but this right here was in my front left pocket. And this is a gift, a very generous gift from Jamie White, one of our viewers and a friend of the show. And he's been making knives, and I showed off a couple of his knives a couple of weeks ago. Jamie, I'll be getting those back to you pretty quickly. Also, they've been fun to have around, that's for sure. But in the box that he sent me to check out his knives, he gave me this. This is my slip, but it's perfect for this little razor blade that he made from presumably a scrap piece of metal, and it is really sharp. It's like what he did. It seems as if he first flat ground it and then hollow ground it, or maybe vice versa, but it's a flat grind and a hollow grind, and I will tell you, it is wickedly sharp. Great, cool little implement to have. I love sharp little cutty things and pokey, pointy things, and this is perfect. I talked for a moment when I got this. I was like, oh, this will be my unboxing knife, but then I realized that'd be like biting off the stilo of a couple of our favorites, and I will just leave this for an in the pocket I'm going to cut you, man, kind of thing. Actually, it'd be great for letters if we still sent letters. I used to write letters, man. I used to write letters all the time to girlfriends over the summer, to friends in far-flung places. I used to write a lot of letters. Kind of miss that because I have all these awesome pens. Now I write work shit with it. Not as cool. Kept McNesshart. Bob, have you seen the Bark River Edwin Forrest Bowie? No, I haven't. Oh, yes. Yes, I have. It's very long and it doesn't look like a Bowie, right? But I guess we have learned from Bark River, you can, Bowie's, many different species of Bowie. But yeah, man, that is big. And you can even tell by the fact that I, a Yank, am saying Bowie and not Bowie. I kind of interchange them now. Hero Stick says BJJ is where we are headed. Awesome. I've considered Krav Maga, also great, and judo as well. Thanks for the insight. I don't know what insight I had to offer, but I think it's cool because it's very to the point. And if you don't have years and years to, or maybe even if you're not interested in training for years and having it become a part of your life like that, you can assimilate some of the stuff quickly if you train it with some regularity. JN, how's it going? What ups to the knife enthused? How do, Bob and Jim? Well, how do to you, JN? But Hero Sticks, let me know what you end up going with. I think BJJ is awesome. I used to be pretty good at it for a blue belt, and then I stopped, and then everyone that kept going, that was painful to see and to experience and to do to myself. Rusty Cleaver, how's it going, Rusty? How is it that only now have I realized Rusty Cleaver? That's a great name, man. Hi, y'all, he says. Yes, right. Thank you, Jim. This is a pocket check. So let me talk about what I had in my right front. So we could say primary carry for the day because that's what it is. Well, excuse me, I've been carrying this thing a bit since I've gotten it. I really like it. This is the Tucson TS 301. This is odd that I've been carrying it so much for a couple of reasons. And they are as follows. It's I got to be 100% honest. Like, I have a lot of great knives uh, from all sorts of places, like China and other places, Italy and stuff. But I find myself gravitating, I have for quite some time, towards the daily carry of an American-made knife. My top shelf knives. That's just where I go. And those tend to have higher end steels that I'm proud of for no apparent reason. Hey, Byron, good to have you here. And the thing I like about Filipino martial arts, and Dave knows what he's talking about here, is that they are principle based and effective to the newbie from day one. Yes, I had a Kempo teacher in New York who used to say, it's the 72-hour art form. You can master it in 72 hours. And I was like, wait a sec. I mean, I didn't say this to him, but in my mind, I was like, well, maybe not master, maybe learn how to swing a stick and how to, throw a couple of thrusts or something like that. But yes, quickly, the 72-hour art form. I think that's kind of cool. And actually, what I was saying, I think it's kind of cool when you look at this knife to see that contouring. Anyway, this knife is a real love, and one of the reasons some of the reasons why I shouldn't like it is the carbon fiber, the short blade, the upswept point that goes almost beyond the back of the spine. That's another thing I don't ordinarily care for. And like I said, the fact that it's one of my less expensive offerings. I got to be honest, I've, like, on a daily basis, I almost feel guilt for not taking my Hinderers, my most highly prized ones, out with me. Snuzz Nuzz says that Tucson looks like a great knife, but I can never remember their models. I know Tucson, a bunch of numbers. Yeah, and they look different. And they're all, yeah. I hear you. I can just remember that this is the 301. That's it. I don't, but apparently they're starting to put the names on the blade, not this one. Oh, another interesting thing about this is you can access the lock bar insert through the carbon fiber bolster there. You probably never ever will, but it's a cool little design feature. And I really dig this knife, and the action is addictive. It's fun to flip around and play it with. It's very comfortable in hand. It cuts very well. I've been using it a lot for just random tasks. It's great in this grip. Not that I've used it, but that gear pattern really does grip the thumb, which is great. If you had to use it that way, heaven forbid. And I say heaven forbid because it either means you're about to fight with it, or it means you're about to do something stupid with it, and jam that tip into somewhere it doesn't belong. Because it's a somewhat fine tip. The blade has a nice distal taper. The thumb ramp is beautifully jimped. I mean, really nicely jimped. Hey, Alex, how's it going? Got Alex from the Knife Box channel. Good to see you, sir. To have you with us. Michael Morgan, only own one Tucson, but pretty impressed. That's the thing. If I'm glad that their designs are mostly too much for me. This one is just right. Because I'd have a million of them because they're so nicely made. This has really proud thumb studs, which you can wave out of your pocket. I found it waves out of my back pocket quite easily. Snags on the seam. I need a Tucson, says Casey. I think you do, Casey. I think you should check one out. I think you'd really like it. Maybe we can organize a swap, a little swap. Not a permanent thing, but sort of a review type thing, like I do with Dave. Dave says Dave has a nice collection. He sent me a what do you call it? Like a temptation picture the other day. Like, ooh, look at all my Tucsons. You want to do a little swap? And he's got a really awesome collection of the ones that, to me, look best. You're succumbing to the Tucson mind meld, and you will be buying more and not knowing why. Well, I must admit I did see a couple. Sounds great. All right, cool. We'll figure that out. I like that kind of exposure to knives I haven't seen before. I don't know, Dave. I don't know. So far, this one has sufficed. I think it was the length of time it took for me to get it. It's like I couldn't possibly wait 3 weeks for another knife purchase. That company has been doing great things. Too bad they don't get enough credit. Yeah, Alex, what do you think, man? I think they've been laying low on purpose. Are they doing something? Are they kind of trying to cultivate a mysterious thing, or are they a brand that's totally differently named, coming out of a different OEM? There is some mystery involved. And at first I thought, like, why wouldn't they be bragging about such workmanship? Maybe this actually isn't titanium. Maybe this isn't steel. Who knows? Obviously that's not true, but yeah, they should be bragging more because they deserve it. Let's see. Lastly, what I was carrying was new as of 2 weeks ago. This is the Rib Splitter Knives Draug, Draug. And I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, but so I had to look it up. What does that mean? And a Draug is excuse me, from the Norse sagas. They're like zombies, basically. They're like undead ghouls. Um, cool name for this knife because it looks like something an undead ghoul might carry. No, that's not true. It looks like what a cultivated and classy gentleman would carry. And that's because it is. Look at this. This is the Rib Splitter Draug. Kevin Moore, how do you do, Kevin Moore? Good to have you here. Evening, y'all. Pirate walks into a bar with a paper towel covering his head. Bartender asks, why the towel? Pirate says, arg, I've got a bounty on my head. Oh, well, thank you. I need to assimilate that into my panoply because those are the only kind of jokes, A, that I can remember, and B, that I can tell to great effect. Alex says, if they've been laying low, they've been there for years. Yeah, that's true because the way they number their knives, I mean, so they've made. I mean, I don't know if each knife is a new number sequentially, but I know that they're in the 300s. I know that they've produced quite a bit. Bloodgroove says, this old sword almost got me into a Tucson TS-81 the other day, but I stayed strong. Oh man, yeah, he's a good salesman too. He knows how to close that sale. He knows how to sell that knife. So yeah, this is a guy I've been following on Instagram for a while. Has a weekly drop of really cool, mostly Pakal handmade knives. I believe they're forged. This is 1095 and very sharp. It is chisel ground. Now, one little sort of criticism: it's chisel ground, and I love that. And a chisel grind like this with a chisel edge is an opportunity to go extremely, extremely terrifyingly sharp because chisels are just extremely sharp. This gentleman, I don't know his name yet, puts a secondary bevel on the chisel side. And that does make the edge probably stronger and stouter for the pulling kind of cuts that this is intended to do. Who knows what you might snag on, be it a zipper, be it a bone, be it a wallet, anything that you might snag on. If you have a real thin chisel edge, it might chip out. So maybe just maybe it's to make this more of a stout edge for the intended cutting purpose. Whatever it is, I just prefer a straight chisel without that secondary bevel. But that's a minor nitpick for a knife that is just really well made. It's got a real nice sort of contrast between this sort of roughly hewn blade and the very smooth, nicely done and thin, easy to carry in the waistband handle here. So just an awesome knife. As I say with every knife I love, I want more from this maker, but I do because he makes a lot of cool looking knives that are right up my alley and easy to carry. No doubt, easy to carry. So this was my excuse me. This was my pocket check for the day. What were you carrying? Let me know, Bob. You need that jank shank Pikal. I do. I do. I have like we talked about. I have a little misgiving about the ring, but hey, man, I have this ringed Pikal, and I absolutely love it. And this is the Bastinelli Creations Anomaly. It's a one of four prototype or not prototypes, one of four collaborations in this series with Doug Marcaida, all based on this platform with different handles. This is a very well placed ring, but still the ring freaks me out a little bit. That rib splitter is wow. I hear you, Hero Sticks. I agree. I think it's just gorgeous design. And actually, it's even better in person. I was watching this. I think I saw the birth of this model over a couple of weeks, and then and it wasn't my favorite. But now that I have it in person, it's just it's a really beautiful piece, I gotta say. Projects with Paul, how do you doing, man? Good to have you here. We're just doing pocket checks. Let me know what you were carrying today, and let me know down below if you're watching this after the fact, because I like to know what people carry. It's part of what keeps me getting new cool stuff. D Real, how's it going? D Real was good in the sharp hood. Well, man, it's all good. It's all good. But today it's this Tucson 301. It's this really cool handmade razor by my buddy Jamie, and it's this here rib splitter. Rib splitter. Oh, that name. That name. Ooh, evocative and terrible. That's a hard one to say. Judge, I just carry this for work. What's it called? It's called the rib splitter drug. What's a drug? It's a Norse zombie. Oh, so you carry that for work, do you? D-Bass says, I was carrying my Thai Segaya. This happened last week. Urban EDC F5.5 at work today, and then switched to my Koenig Arius Style 57. Excuse me. D-Bass, what does the Style 57 refer to? Curious. Please let me know. KC says, had the Tucson TS88 and the Civivi Synergy 3. So the TS88, which that's the long, slender, kind of Warncliffy one. And I don't know that. I just remember seeing your post. I'm pretty sure. And the Civivi Synergy. That Synergy is so cool. I thought it was cool back in the 90s when I saw it on the back of whatever the Knife magazine was, when it had the aluminum handles and it was like red, white, and blue anodized. I thought the profile of it was cool. I'm so glad they brought that design back. Okay, Hero says, today's carry, Brian Brown Jaeger, cool knife. Jaeger M. Kaiser Urban Bowie, another cool little knife. That's a teeny one, right? Designed by Pinkerton. Both in natural micarta. Very nice. Like that natural micarta. Michael Morgan says, carrying my new Hogue EX 01 4-inch Tanto button lock green G Mascus. That's a nice looking knife by our good buddy Alan Elishowitz. Day 4. I haven't put it down. Boy, I'm so sorry about all this belching and coughing. So does this have a harpoon? Yoda Doug's tool collecting channel. Yoda Doug, how's it going? Bastinelli is very talented with his designs. Man, I could not agree with you more. It is beautiful stuff. He calls it tactical art, and I agree. His stuff is very artful and beautiful. And then you watch him manipulate his knives, and obviously he spends all day, every day, manipulating knives because it's so cool to watch. Dave says, carrying the Kaiser Begletter. Oh, this was cool. XL. I believe that was in natural tan micarta, right? And the White Mountain Knives exclusive button lock, right, with brown micarta and 154 cm. I love 154 cm. That blade shape is one we haven't seen on a Beglighter. We're used to a more somewhat straight back drop point or the Tanto or the Warncliffe, but this is more of a spear point, right? Or it's more of a drop point, but it just has a slightly different shape. Blame Dexter, good to see you here. The Finch Devil's Finger was my EDC. Such a cool knife. Super easy to carry with the wire clip. I love the micarta on it as well. Chef's kiss. Mwah, I gotcha. A chef's kiss. I've heard that called the Italian salute, but I'm always like, no, that's the Italian. Oh, this is great. Okay, so this is a little anecdote I have to share. G-Man has his Spyderco PM2, very nice, and a Giant Mouse Biblio with me today. Love that Biblio. I love the Giant Mouse designs. I don't have one. Haven't had one. Carried my Medford Praetorian and CJRB Scoria today. Is it the red and black Scoria? Love the way that looks with the maroon handle. Such a cool looking knife. Hey, Deacon, how's it going? Nice carry, Bob. Carried a Gavco white tip. Ooh, very nice. Tonight, glad to see someone else carrying a chisel grind. Yeah, I do love the chisel grind, especially when it's ground to the right-hand side. Spyderco Resilience today. Excellent, says projects with, well, I'm saying excellent. 2 projects with Paul's Resilience. That was a Resilience, right? I believe. I have a Resilience that I modified to have a wave and a Bowie blade. It's sort of cool, but I sort of messed it up. So it's not as cool as it's very functional, but it's not as cool as I was trying to make it look. Blade Ogre said, carrying my Monterey Bay knives, Slayback XL. Nice, very nice. I just had a Slayback on loan, but I don't think it was the XL. But in any case, what a beauty. The Giant Mouse Ace Sonoma V2, the LT Wright Bandit in snakeskin micarta, case double warny serrated copperhead. What? Double warny serrated copperhead. Interesting. I know the copperhead. I don't know a copperhead with 2 blades, let alone warnies, let alone serrated. You're blowing my mind on multi levels. Finch Lucky 13 and the EOS Urchin Tie Friction. All right. So the count, it's always a count with Chris here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and all of them pretty unique. Some of them more so than others, but all of them, I mean, none of them shrinking violets. Very nice carry, Chris. Very nice. I hope you have a gun on you to defend all those cool knives. Here, or a sword. Hero Stick says Bastinelli is so good. I don't know where to start. Thinking about one of the neck knives. Oh, yeah. Yeah, start there. That's a great place to start with the diagnostic. I carry it every day behind my work thing, my work tag, and it's a tiny 2-finger hawkbill, super hawkbill. That's a chisel ground, wickedly sharp chisel ground blade. It's excellent. And then from there, let the sickness progress until you have, I thought I brought it out. I have the big drag attack. Love that thing. Big Perm, how's it going, Big Perm? I was carrying my CRKT Ritual minus the thumb studs today. Cool. That is a pretty magnificent beast. I would not mind having one on loan for a while. I don't think I would actually. It might go well into my collection of knives that include ones such as this, and then like this I was carrying around today. Never carry this, but I like the big ones like this. Yoda Doug's Tool Collecting Channel says I was carrying my 0562 CF. Love that knife. So that's one of the older ones, right? The 0562 in CF, because they sort of resurrected that knife after a short period of being fallow in the all tie, and that's what it's been burning it up with the last couple of years. So to have it in CF leads me to believe it's an older version and it's in LMAX or something. That's cool. Carrying my Finch Lucky number 13 in abalone. Oof, that's so nice. A Kershaw Leak, the Eldris, and the LTWK Small Northern Hunter. LT Wright Knives, Small Northern Hunter. That's cool, man. That's the one that you loaned me. I love that thing. So that's a pretty awesome carry too. Hey, Matthew, we have Matthew Christensen. How's it going? What's up, fellas? Very, very nice to see you, sir. You have been absolutely crushing it. I've been just seeing how your designs have been evolving lately. Beautiful stuff. Blade Hobby. Hello, all. A little late. Well, good to have you here, Blade Hobby. Late's fine. Hey, I'm married to a Latin woman. Carried my Kaiser Critical and my Civivi Keen Natter. And to those of you out there who may take offense, get over it. It's true. Martial artists, Latin people, probably Italians, but not my family. We're, lots of different people have different characteristics, and lateness is one that definitely I contend with. I'm just gonna stop here. I know my wife's not listening, but why make a public record of something that on occasion causes a rift. Aberdeen Blades, how's it going? Petrified Fish Mini Beluga. That's such a cool knife in the pocket tonight. Yeah, Chaka. I'm with you. I think the Mini Beluga. Well, I'm not sure if you think this, but I like the way the Mini Beluga looks. And of the two, the main and the mini, I think that's what I would go for. Got my new Civivi Thug Proto on me today. Very nice. Oh, I love that thing. Matthew loaned me one of his prototypes about a year ago, and it was the one with the brushed finish. So beautiful. What a great knife. And my daughter took some great pictures. We took some great pictures of it in my hand and then her hand. And we had a little bonding session over that knife. So very nice. I can't wait to see the prototype you're talking about. Kane A, Custom Pena Muela. Is it Mula? Pena Mula and Jim Dunlop Lanny's clip. Nice in the pocket today. I love a Lanny's clip. And speaking of Lanny's clip, this thing that Hero Stick sent me from Boker, this bad guy slip joint. This is like a big giant fat lit like on steroids, like complete with the dermal ridge and all that. Lanny's clip, and I think it's so cool. It's a Lanny's clip kind of run through a cartoon filter. Kevin Moore says, good to see y'all. Hey, Aberdeen Blades. I'm carrying my Beluga in Blue Micarta this evening. See, that's great. Coming together under the flag of knives. Byron Kennedy said ZT 30308. Okay, so awesome knife. And I've been flirting with getting one ever since they came out. And something about the nice round price of $300 had me suspicious. I don't know why. I was just like, no, I don't know. I don't know why. But so I've been, I don't know, stupid about it. And then USA Made Blade has been posting shots of it with this wood inlay, the 308 with this beautiful wood inlay and this contoured handles. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Hey, Sean, we got Sean M with us. Evening, gents, looking sharp, carrying a Petrified Fish PF 949. We have a number of Petrified Fish carriers in the crowd this evening. Not sure what that 949 is, but Bob, the Arius Style 57 has the milled pattern on the tie handle where the regular Arius does not. Oh, I like the Style 57 then. I mean, I like them both, of course, but 57 is the way I'd go for sure. Yoda Duggs says, wow, that Protect Strider 2403 already sold out. I thought of getting one on impulse. Oh, that's the operator edition, right? Yeah, that thing's so cool. So cool. I had a Protect Strider and I sold it to our good friend Nick Martino, and he posts pictures of it all the time. So that Protect is living its best life with Nick for sure. BD Swaim, how's it going? Ultratech Tanto, nice. I love the shape of the Ultratech Tanto, by the way. And the Shaman XHP today. Gotta get both of those into my life, especially the Ultratech Tanto, even though I'm not supposed to carry it around here. Currently wielding the Mundial 7-inch chef's knife in the bakery. Very nice. Oh, he's listening in a bakery. I love this. I can smell the bread. Staff of life, baby. With a K-Bar TDI under the belt. Very nice. Super light SOG SOG mini trident in the pocket. Very nice carry. That Mundial 7-inch chef's knife is probably the. It's nice that it's in hand. Let's put it that way. Lonely Stacker 777. Good to have you here. Carried the CRKT Ritual. Oh, so the second Ritual. All right. And the Swiss tool for the deli counter. Look at this. We got a bakery. We got a deli counter. We can do something special here. This, All right, guys. You know what to do. I'll give you my address. Send it on over. Incognito Griffin, good to see you here, man. Hello, Bob. Had the day off today, so I only carried my Vaquero. Very nice. Incognito is always carrying his Vaquero. And I almost carried mine tonight, but instead I chose the Chris. I knew I wanted a Voyager with me tonight, and ah, chose the Chris. I really think this Chris blade looks extra cool with the raw aluminum um, snaggletooth MF. I think it just adds to the overall look of the blade and the whole thing. I think it just puts the finishing touch on it. Plus, it makes it great to pull out of the pocket. Hero Stick says, carrying the Boker bad guy makes you feel like I could have been a biker once when I was young. Yeah, no kidding. You're still young, Hero. I know you're fishing, but don't worry, man. You're still young. Um, so am I. So is Dave. Dave says the PF 949 Warrior is my favorite petrified. Oh, the Warrior out of 10 in the collection. So that Warrior, that's the one with it has a Tanto, right? Petrified Fish Warrior. Um, on the Edge 72 says, today I carried my Z-Wear Spyderco Shaman. I said Shaman before, now I'm saying Shaman. That was just modified by Richie and Lindy. Awesome. The Knife Modders Mirror Stonewash blade. Oh, yes. I think I saw your Mirror Stonewash blade. Blue Anno. Yeah, I think so. Barked and tumble tie scales. That bark job they do on the scales is crazy. And bronze clip. So they did this to my turbo here, and the color is, I think I'm going to put it up here. I just Windexed it. The color is amazing. But now I'm like, why didn't I have them bark it? And by bark, what they do is they carve in a sort of random pattern of lines that once carved in aggregate look like bark, bark, and it looks really cool. And I imagine that it feels great in hand. They just recently did a 2 Chavez knives that look really cool with that bark finish. Snuz says, okay, Heretic Pariah, because flicking a hammer is cool. All right. Riot Exo, because always. GEC Liberty 48 clip point version, because hell yes. Lastly, the Quill, most useful item ever. It really is. It's just a cool forged little bent little hooky thing, and man alive, it comes in very handy. That's some great carry there, man. Nicely done. James Moore says, repeat carry post, Sharp by Design Mini Tempest, Bowie blade. Very nice. Marble carbon fiber with a little blue front flipper. Beautiful. Sounds nice. I need a Sharp by Design in my life. Clearly. D-Real says, brothers in blades and bakery. Yeah, and the bakery. Love it. Yes, sir. I love it too. Even though I'm all stuffy, I can smell it. Michael Morgan says, shaman. It's shaman. It's Andrea. Max the Maker, how's it going? My EDC knives today were the Kaiser Swayback. That's a cool one. Used to cut up a box and as a fidget toy. All right. Fair enough. That's the one designed by Swags, right? White River FC 3.5 used to cut out plastic strap on a bundle of wood. Very cool. I do like that White River, and I think I bought a Kaiser Swayback from Blade HQ. I bring this up every once in a while, and I think I never got it. And then I've always been like, I gotta really do a deep dig and see if I actually bought it, or if it's something that I never pressed the go button, and I had to restart my computer or something. Did I do it at work? Did I do it on an evening where I had one too many? I don't know, but there should be one in my collection right now. Projects with Paul says, the dragonfly eye. Oh, yes, the dragonfly eye green. Thank you. I'm so glad you remembered. Man, the action on this thing is guillotine-esque. It is so awesome. This is a cool knife. Monterey Bay knives, I know there are mixed reviews. I think the ones that I've experienced, which are 3, and one of them I bought, and that's this one, have been really, really nice knives. I'm not the one criticism that I heard Metal Complex level at the company that It's probably the only one that I really agreed with in his review of this knife is the satin on the blade. I was like, I gotta do something about the satin on this blade. It was nice enough to collect fingerprints, but not nice enough to be a nice satin fit. I don't know. I just didn't. I'm not a satin finish kind of guy anyway, so I was looking for an alternative. Anyway, okay. So Kevin Moore, he's got a breakdown. Right pocket, petrified fish beluga with blue micarta. Look at us, a gathering of eagles, great minds thinking alike. Left pocket, Spyderco Rhodey slip joint with slate scale. That's right. You carry the Rhodey a lot. That's a cool little knife. Audacious, weird, kind of ugly design. But I mean, you could say that about pretty much every Spyderco. Gear ND says, "Oh, I hope I didn't ruffle any feathers." You know, it's like ET. It's like cute ugly. Uh, maybe that was even worse. Gear ND says, loaded out with the classic PM2 in S110V, first run Civivi Knox in all steel. I like the look of that Knox. The Olight 13T with a boosted battery setup. Wonder what that means. Does that mean, well, is that something you add on to the torch? Custom Beglary with milled and anode tie beads. Last off, dead on paper coin. Dead on paper coin. I don't know any of this, man. Is this, when you say dead on paper coin, is this a cool coin you like to carry around because it's kind of a worry stone, or is this a cryptocurrency and you are carrying around your certificate of it today? Uh, and then you've got a mysterious carry, so I'm interested. Blood Groove says, I want to get the bark mod, just need to find a knife to get it on. Was thinking a K-bar, so I can call it a K-bark. Oh, the dad jokes are flowing. I love it. PF Warrior is, or the Petrified Fish Warrior is a sort of clip point, drop point kind of blade. Oh, all right. Hang on. So, well, this is a I need to let's see. Can he spell petrified fish while people are watching? Petrified fish knife warrior cats. Where did that come from? Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, that's nice. It's almost a little upswepty. It's almost a little upswept. That's nice. It's kind of almost Sinkovician. Is that a word? Hawaii Knife and Gear, good to see you here. Not my carry, but fidgeting with the Ferrum Forge Mini Archbishop. I just finished up the Koa scales on it. Nice. Great little knife for sure. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, I want to mention we have a new patron, and I will also be mentioning him on the next supplemental as we do. Belugas are all over the place, says Hero Sticks. Unfortunately, not right here. I would like to get one, though, in the blue denim. We have a new Gentleman Junkie patron. His name is Larry Elizondo. I want to say thank you, Larry. It's great to have you on board, and I really appreciate the kind words you said about the podcast. And it's always cool when people tell me how it fits into their life. For instance, right now, my honeyed tones are out there complimenting the smells of bread and other baked goods, and this is a good thing. And it is interesting. I know some people drive for a living and listen to the show. There are other, so it's just cool. So Larry, let me know about that. I really appreciate it, Larry. Good to have you with us. And look for that mention on the upcoming Wednesday supplemental. JN says, okay, carbon fiber native. I like how we're all starting. Okay. All right. Okay. So so it's okay, so and like for me. Those are my three big crutch words. Okay, carbon fiber chief DLT PM2. Wait. Carbon fiber native chief. So that's in like S90V or something. DLT PM2 M4, very nice. M4 940, Mora Eldris, Leatherman Wave, and Micra. Okay. Oh my God. Olight, Perrin Mini, and pointy sticks and fidget blocks. My God, man. JN is obsessed. He came to the right place. So two Spydercos, a Benchmade, a Mora, 2 Leatherman, the Olight. I don't know what a Perrin Mini is. I'm not sure if that's a knife. I'm assuming that's one of the new knives. So let's just say he's carrying a lot. But I do respect that. And I'd love to know what you used. Probably just the Mora Eldris. That's my thought. D-Bass. Bob, I'm needing a salute with a D-Bass fixed blade, with a badass fixed blade. Okay. I got a badass fixed blade. I got one right here. This one has been through me. Not through me. Thank God. This one has been with me through thick and thin. That's what I was trying to say. Through me. Oh, I hope never. Because it is the Cold Steel Laredo Bowie. And this I've had for, I don't know, 10 or 12 years or something. And I forced a patina on it years ago. And it's just a gnarly knife. I've used it to baton wood. I've used it for outdoor chores. I've carried it obsessively when I first we first bought this house, and I thought every house was invaded immediately. I carried this with me everywhere. So this is your salute, D-Bass. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, right here. Get you a Laredo Bowie and maybe a Natchez. I want a Natchez. Since I had this out tonight, I was like, I never went all the way. I never got a Natchez Bowie. And then part of the reason why I've resisted is that now it only comes with a Kydex sheath as opposed to the awesome sheath they used to have with the Laredo. They're all Kydex now. I think they need to go back to leather. D-Bass, I thank you, sir. You rock, man. Snuzz Nuzz says, hey, Bob, when are you going to get your YouTube join button here? What do you mean? Maybe Jim will have to explain that to me. When are you going to get your YouTube join button here? Shane Gables, how's it going, Shane? Hello, beautiful people, he says. Join button. Do you mean like memberships? Mitch Bolig, how's it going, Mitch? Good to have you here. Love the Mora Eldris. We have a couple of people. Actually, both of them have chimed in. Jan and Max the Maker are devotees to that knife, and oftentimes when they're giving their pocket checks, they'll mention what they did with them, and it's usually done with the Eldris. Hag 90, good to have you here, Hag. Hello, the Knife Junkie. I have arrived. I hit the like button upon entrance. Well, thank you, sir. Hey, let's all take Hags. Let's take a page from Hag's book, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. I mean, you know, the worst that can happen is you just see me in your feed and you just go, okay, I'll look at something else, you know. Eldris for the win. No kidding. Oh, I forgot you, Kepmuk. Yeah, that's 3 of you who always carry that. That is right. All right. So I want to show again, next week is the Gentleman Junkie giveaway, and it's really special this time. Incognito Griffin says, Bob, have you seen the new Cold Steel video? Yes. That's why I have my my Laredo out, because it was all about the Natchez Bowie. And oh man, I gotta pull this out. The Perrin is a torch. Okay, says Max the Maker. Well, thank you. Thank you, Max. Ior says, hey, Ior, good to have you here. Carrying the Cold Steel American Lawman. That is a great knife. I got rid of my American Lawman, which was not smart, and now I miss it. Mitch Bolig, thank you, man. We got a super chat from Mitch. Thank you, Mitch. Yo, Bob, thanks from the Junkie followers that did a parody of the knife channels. Oh, including you. Dude, that was awesome. So Mitch did this great video, and it was, I don't know, maybe like 20 different, his impression of 20 different knife channels, and they were spot on. And he had a little lower third with each one saying which channel it was, but you could tell exactly. And yours for me, I thought was funny because I was like, yeah, that's me. You nailed it. So nicely done. I'm going to get you, Mitch, with a classic. I'm going to salute you with a Randall. This is the Randall 16 Special Fighter. The 16 has this handle, but this one, but it usually has a dive, more of a spear point dive blade. This one has the number 1 fighting blade on it. So this thing is incredibly awesome. So Mitch, here's to you, buddy. Thank you so much, not only for including me in your video. I was flattered and then also impressed with your impressions of everyone on there. But also thank you for this generous super chat. Here's to you, sir. Mm-mm. And then look at that. Thank you, sir. All right, Mitch. Mitch got it. Got his salute with a Randall number 16. Such a great knife. I love having a couple of Randalls in my life. Now, you know, I don't know what came over me when I got them because, well, I guess Knife Center got, they sent me an email. Hey, man, look at what we got. I was like, oh my God. But it's, and they're like, it's either this or you wait 5 years. It's up to you. Want to just buy it right now, or do you want to wait? I don't know, 5 years? You can wait 5 years. Go for it. So of course I bought it. Gear ND says the Torch, LOL, just like a higher voltage batteries that will run. Okay. Just has a higher voltage battery that will run only so long before burning out the emitter. Begleri is a Greek hand toy. Oh, essentially a rope with 2 weights on either side. Yes, I've seen those. I think the first place I saw those was a character in a James Bond movie. Maybe it was For Your Eyes Only. Who clacked those around. I think they're cool. I thought it was so cool. Hero Stick says, click that little thumbs just because we're like, wait. Click that little thumbs up because we likes what's happening. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Hero. I'm slow. What can I say, man? It's Thursday at, a late hour. Gear ND says, fling around your fingers. The coin is a decision challenge piece. Oh, okay. Okay. That's made by a company in Arkansas called Dead on Paper. Oh, and lastly, crypto stays on cold storage devices, not on certificates, Bob, and certainly not on coins. Because I wanted mine in like a little leather satchel that I could like fling onto a counter. I will take that Lamborghini. Snuznuz said, yep, YouTube has a membership program. Okay. They take a smaller cut than the other guy you're used to, and we can do it here. The other guy you're used to, and we can do it here. Oh, all right. I think Jim and I are going to talk about this again. We've had a conversation about this in the past, and it is only whoever drags his feet. So we'll talk about this. Thank you for the suggestion, by the way. Thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate it. Blood Groove Knife Reviews says, Mitch, I remember that parody. It was funny. Oh, yeah. On the Edge 72 says, my family is watching with me, and the consensus is that you look stoned. I told them you sometimes drink, but not sure about the devil's lettuce. Certainly not on this evening, sir. But he looks stoned. I do have bright lights in my face, and I'm tired, and I'm on my second cup of instant coffee. Yeah, instant. I was lazy tonight, but no. But I'll give you my address. You want to send something over? Just kidding. D-Bass, how can we see this parody knife YouTuber video? Sounds amazing. Well, actually, if you could put the link back up, Mitch, that'd be awesome. It was maybe that's the way to do it. Just put the link in the chat. Hey, Professor EDC, good to see you. Bob, Jim, distinguished Blade Junkies. I hope everyone is doing well and enjoying the show. Carrying a Spidey Chef. Excellent. GEC 44. I love the gun stock. And the QSP neck muck. That is cool too. And that looks like that neck muck that has that duck shaped handle, doesn't it? Here's my Spidey Chef, since you mentioned it and since you asked. This is the one I had Mike Emler tweak and make it so that you have a point. I do like a point. As an Englishman, I do prefer Torch. Torch. Yes, quiet. Sorry, that was not me trying to be British. But yes, Torch, it does sound cultivated. I mean, I've said before, Torch is to flashlight as film or cinema is to movie. It's just it sort of it indicates a higher level of that thing, right? You say cinema, and you're not expecting, the A-Team remake. And just like when you say torch, you're not expecting the Maglite crap that I carry on my keys that you're all talking about. Well, no one's talking about it because it's not worth talking about, because it's a Maglite. Big Perm says you should put a big cutting board on the wall so you can stab knives into it. That is not a bad idea, actually. That is not a bad idea. I made a throwing target, and my research was lackluster. Let's put it that way. And I didn't quite make it the best way to make knives stick. So maybe I will do that, Big Perm, just so that I can A, try to do it the right way this time, and B, have something to stick knives into. It could be great. Um, I'm sorry. Mitch says Bob is not stoned. He's always appropriately relaxed. Well, thank you. Thank you. You know what? Right before coming down here, I had the male bonding session with the only other male in the house, who's a dog. And we go on the only surface above the ground he's allowed on in this house, which is my daughter's bed. So we hang out on my daughter's bed. We do a little male bonding, and we doze for a few minutes while the girls are getting ready for bed. And then here we are. So I am appropriately relaxed. Blade Stuff. What's up, everyone? Sorry, late to the party. Well, Blade Stuff, better late than never, brother. Good to have you here. Blood Groove says, a torch is something you carry when hunting Frankenstein's moss. Agreed. A torch in one hand and a pitchfork in the other. That is the appropriate attire. Hero Sticks, forgive me if I missed it, but have you done a review on your swords, the ones behind you? I have not done. I've shown them off, but not in a long time. I did a pumpkin slaying with this bolo that I don't think I ever posted, actually. So yeah, I should pull these down. So these are many of them are Filipino. 4 of them are, and they were bringbacks by GIs. This one is the last Navy cutlass to be made, I think it's 17, and then there's some other cool things behind us. But yeah, Jim was. Oh, and then here is that's a Fairbairn Sykes my brother gave me, and then below it is a Korea War era K-bar. Lots of cool stuff, and a lot of that my brother gave me. So that's cool. Bob is not only parodied in the hilarious homage to the knife channels, but the episode I referenced is actually the podcast Bob interviews TJ Schwartz. Oh, cool. Yes, I was talking. I mean, the way, yeah, it was funny. Check it out. It is very good. It is very good. So let's see. All right. So I was on the new patron, Gentleman Junkie, is Larry Elizondo, and that was taking me to this next thing, which is the giveaway knife for next week, which is a special giveaway knife. Okay, so here's how the story goes. About a year and a half ago, where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. About a year and a half ago, Mike Latham of CollectorKnives.net, who not only owns CollectorKnives.net, but makes designs and collaborates with Fox Knives in Italy and Lion Steel and others, Viper Knives. And he created this prototype and sent me, or he created this design and had the prototype made by Lion Steel. And then he had a gunstock jack, which is now out on his website, made by Fox. And he sent them both to me and kind of just gave them to me. And he came back on the show like a year later, and we were talking about it, and I pulled this out, and he's like, "You still have that?" And I was like, "Well, of course. I wouldn't. You think I'd get rid of that? I wouldn't get rid of this for the world." And he's like, "You're supposed to give that away, you greedy bastard. I didn't just like send you 2 awesome prototypes just for you to have because I think you're awesome." And I was like, "You didn't?" He's like, "No, I didn't. You need to give one of those away." So I was like, "Okay, I'll give this away." This is the one that I haven't carried and used, but that I think is so cool. Love the top 10 plus +1 neck knives. Thanks for noticing the +1. Thank you, sir. I love neck knives. I feel they're maligned. I feel they're misunderstood. And anything I can do to raise awareness and bring attention to that knife. that knife style. So about this knife style, this is a swing guard. It is an uncommon sort of traditional style knife made famous by Case with their cheetah, and there are others. And then, of course, we all know the Italian switchblades that have that swing guard. So the swing guard is a pretty cool feature, but on this one, it is 100% unique. Hey, Redacted, good to have you here. And I agree, it is a beautiful knife. It's getting me all misty talking about getting rid of it. This is so well fit. There is absolutely zero play on this guard, and it's held in by one pin. That is so that it can rotate and nestle itself against the bolster, that titanium bolster next to the carbon fiber handle. And oh, that's a very sharp blade. So yeah, M390, you've got the thing that doesn't move, the guard that's totally locked in. You've got a crown spine, you got a crown lock bar. It can be totally taken down, and it's just a cool piece. And I don't know if they're ever actually going to go to production with this. So this is probably the one I should have kept. But in my selfishness, I was just kind of, it was a fever. It was like a year and a half long fever dream owning this thing. And now suddenly I'm trying to get it out of my life because I was made to feel appropriately greedy for keeping this. This thing is so cool. Whoever gets this is going to absolutely love it. Michael Morgan says, can't say I blame you, Bob. one for using and one for collecting, right? Logically. Yes, yep. The gun stock is definitely more my style than this, but man, this thing is cool. That's a 3-inch blade by that. I love that knife, says Big Perm. Yeah, it is pretty cool. Now, if this were my design, there's only one thing I would change. Well, I would offer it in a clip point and a warrant. I would do a couple of cool blade whatchamacallit, varieties here. The band Famous TM, good to have you here. Happy to be here. Well, good to have you here. Check this out. We're looking at this prototype we're giving away next week. Sinister knife. Interesting. Yes, it is interesting. It is. That's a great word for it. It's the same but different and beautifully engineered. The only thing I would do is take the canting or the angle and switch it. I would swap it around so that your thumb could nestle up against the so that it would be more like this. But that's just a tiny little thing. What was that last thing you said? Win it, said Yoda says, hit that thumbs up if you really love that knife. Yeah, exactly. If you really loved me, if you really loved this knife, you would click it. So yeah, check it out next week. So you have a week to become a gentleman junkie and to be eligible to win this knife. And well, I'd love to see any one of you out there win it. So here it is. This is the one. I'm putting it away. And incidentally, it's going to come in this made for Mike Latham beautiful stout leather case. This is not something he offers on his website. This is a very high grade, very, very nice slip. So I'll be sad to see the slip go too. Got to be honest. So there you go. Don't make me cry. All right. So fidgeting, let me know. Do you fidget? I have a theory, and I just sort of developed it the other day. Or I didn't develop it. I actually I stole it and applied it to fidgeting knives, but I think it might make sense. So I want to know if you think it does, but we'll get to that in a minute. 63 watching and 41 likes. Man, you know what that means? 22 of them out there just boiling. This guy, man, this guy's just sitting there talking. I hate it, but I just can't turn it off. And now I can't press the thumbs down button anymore. So how are you going to express yourself? Leave a comment. Brian Stone, good to have you here, Brian. Who makes the slip? I have no idea who made the slip. But I asked him if this was something that they have, and they do have slips, but they're more like this. This is also a collector knife slip. It's much more supple and soft. This is like, you'd like to have a cuirass made of this, or a something to wrap around your forearm to protect it during a knife fight. It's a nice stout thing. But I'm not sure who made it. Sinister Knife. I am not allowed to fidget in my wife's presence. She teaches 12-year-olds. Yeah, that is a thing. You don't want to spoil. Our goal, or my goal, I should say, is always to get my girls and my wife more and more interested in knives. I mean, they all have a glancing, or they all have an interest in it, a glancing interest. But the more I fidget and flip and drive my wife nuts, the more I will push her away from that. So this is a line we walk. Bob, I just got the CRKT minimalist Persian. Cool. Which, to be politically correct, I'm going to insist you call it the Iranian. That's interesting, because I had an Iranian girlfriend and they insisted on being called Persian. So interesting. You raise an interesting question. But I also like that 3.5-inch Tanto they came out with. That's pretty damn good looking too. Does waving out my Vaquero with the snaggletooth every 5 minutes count? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I understand that. The new Fidget King, EMP EDC Nimble, I don't know, but it looks like it could be with those 3 different. I like that people are really being accommodating in the different ways you can open their knives. That's got the front flip, the sort of tang flipper like that, and then it's got the middle finger flick. She likes her Newport. Nice. Used to change a creeper's mind at a gas. Oh, really? Used it to change a creeper's mind at a gas station. Damn. Very nice. Oh, I guess she likes it even more. Todd Carr. Good to have you here, Todd Carr. Okay, let me tell you my theory about fidget, and then okay, so I heard a podcast. It was Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris just talking, and talking. It was one of those things I had to keep rewinding because they were just talking abstract about consciousness and all sorts of stuff. The Civivi Keen Natter is a fidget master, no doubt. Dave gave me my Keen Natter as a gift, and I love that thing. And that also has 3 different ways to open it. My wife does not like it either. Okay, well, this is what you can tell your wife. It's like, so Jordan Peterson starts talking about praying the rosary. He's observing his wife praying the rosary, and he's talking about how it's an embodied meditative practice. Embodied meaning every time the meditative aspect, the prayer or whatever you're meditating on, as soon as your mind starts to drift away from it and succumb to the regular din of the bullshit that's happening in your brain, that conversation that you're constantly having in your brain, well, you bring yourself back to it through an embodied activity. When you're praying the rosary, you go to the next bead and you manipulate the bead in your finger, and that physical activity brings you back to the mental state or the meditative state you're trying to go for. And I heard him say that, and of course, that's just like fidgeting a knife. It's not just, you're not just doing this because you like the action. Like I like a lot of things, but I don't obsessively do them because I like those things. There is something more to this than just being nervous, than just having nervous energy that you have to dispel. Like Greg Medford indicate, or not indicated, but Greg Medford quite clearly said, a real man doesn't fidget. A real man isn't nervous like that. And I was like, I didn't have this theory stolen yet. So I was kind of like, that's not right, but I don't quite know why not. The 80-20 Fidget King, no doubt. Fidget King, and it also sounds like you're playing with a shotgun, which is kind of cool. So we do this flipping because it brings us back to the meditative state that we are already in. Do you ever see someone flipping a knife obsessively who's agitated? Not often. I mean, I haven't. That would actually not make me very comfortable. But also, this is not if you are agitated, you make bigger motions to express yourself. So this is not about agitation. This is not about simple nervous energy that could be dispelled through the shaking of a leg or through whistling or whatever, walking fast. This is something different. To paraphrase the most interesting man in the world, I don't fidget often, but when I do, I fidget with my infidel out the front. Oh, much to the dismay of everyone around you. That's what it's like with those. I fidget with knives at every opportunity. Well, I was thinking this recently here. I was doing this while I was cooking dinner because I'm trying to. This thing fails with some frequency, and I was trying to see how often. So yeah, and I heard about that too. What are you doing in there? I'm cooking dinner. Why? Why? She's just what's this? She just snicked it open and he decided not to approach her. Thank God, man. Thank God. Yeah, the guy's like, this is what my wife and I tell my daughters all the time is that, you know, you don't have to be the biggest badass in the world, but if you are aware and you see people and people see you, see them, and I'm not saying look, make eye contact and I fuck people, but I mean like if you excuse my French, if you just show people that you know that they're there and you show some spine and also show that you're paying attention, you're not lost in your screen. Um, people will or you pull out a ProTech and click it open while you're pumping your gas. And it's like, why would I mess with her when she's got a ProTech or she got a knife in her hand when I could mess with that guy over there who's filling his tires with headphones in and he's looking at his screen? Like, that's the guy. His head's down, he's kneeling, so just a little bit of situational awareness can go a long way. And then you have a Malibu to click out. Man. Blade Stuff says, hi, my name is Chad and I am a fidgeter. Chad, it's okay. We're all fidgeters. What's your favorite thing to fidget with? Or is that enabling? Well, that's okay. We're all enablers too. Here, this is a great fidget, by the way. Professor EDC says, fidgeting, I enjoy it, but I don't find it absolutely necessary to choose a knife. I am with you. Because some things are harder to fidget with. Like, for instance, this Spartan Harsey folder. It's a different kind of fidget. I feel like bearings have changed fidget. So this is that nice sort of hydraulic feel. So I feel like just by its very nature, it takes more effort. I mean, like obviously minimally more effort, but it takes more effort. Therefore, it's less fidgety than say your, one of these. This just seems more fidgety. Am I right? Am I wrong? They're worry stones that will cut you. Yes, yes, yes. They're like worry stones, and they are also like the Beglari. I'm trying to remember what that was called. The Beglari, the Greek, the Greek thing. It is an embodied meditative device. And now they're like, yeah, he is stoned. It's like this, but it is truly a thing that keeps your attention. That's what it is. It keeps your attention and it snaps your attention back where it needs to be. I don't know. I think there's more to fidgeting than just the nervous energy, and that's got to be a part of it. And of course, a huge part of it is the enjoyment, because enjoyment is a huge part of why we are interested in this thing in the first place. Sinister Knife says it quiets the mind. It quiets the mind. What a fascinating take on it. Not surprised to hear it was from listening to Jordan. Yeah. He's no dim wit. That's for sure. When the mind drifts, the fidgeting begins. Yeah. And does it bring the mind back, or does it have the opposite effect? Shane says, I fidget rarely, but it has become a type of rehab for my hands. So spidey flicking can be healthy. Oh, that's interesting, Shane. So kind of practicing manual dexterity in these small I had in these kind of small motions. I had a dehydration. Oh, geez, must have been about 8 years ago now, or so. But it was very bad and very unexpected because I was drinking a ton of water, and I was doing work in everyone was warning me, you're going to be dehydrated. I'm like, I got to do this. And I'm drinking water. I did get dehydrated. And for like 2 days, I lost manual dexterity with my hands. Like I couldn't even like I remember at the time I couldn't put the seatbelt together for my daughter's seat, and it was a terrible feeling. And luckily my situation was passing, but I could see how that sort of occupational activity could, especially knives and opening them, if that's something you've already have a well-worn groove in your mind, that could be a great way to rehab hands. Pedagogically speaking, at least 50% of fidgeters do it as parasitary movements. Parasitary movements. I don't know what that means. Let me know what that means, Professor. Parasitary. Does that mean thoughtless, like without thought? Kep McNessart says, sometimes I sit with a flipper and fidget while I think. It's like autopilot. I don't even know I'm doing it. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. All right. So what about TV? I mean, like, can you focus on something like a movie or the plot of a complicated TV show and click knives? I mean, obviously you have to be alone or you're going to get the stink eye, but can you do that and pay attention to what's happening over here while this is happening? I annoy myself when I'm watching something and I fidget. So I'm just curious if any of you feel that way. On the Edge says, I don't really fidget, but I do open and close my knives a lot to admire them. Yes, me too. That's the way to put it. Fidgeting is for trifling fools. I just open and close them to admire them frequently. I love my native chief, says Shane, and I don't fidget for shit. Well, that is true. Kinda. Because this is fidgeting. Here, look. This is not a native chief, but it's a backlog. And then you can do that with the native chief because it has that little tang, and it might not be as fun to fidget with a lockback, but I say you can do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. But then again, if you don't do it much, why would you elect to do it on one that you find inherently unfidgetable? Sinister Knife says, but it's more engaging in a way on washer sometimes. Yes, but maybe that's why that is not as much. Maybe maybe the more effort it takes, the less fidgety it is, the more energy it takes to think to open and close. Well, I don't know about that, but I do agree with you with washers. Not this knife. This one is not, but like a Chris Reeve knife, you could just open and close simply because it feels so good. We fidget simply because we as humans have disconnected from our ancestral ways, where our hands were always busy by necessity. Huh? Yeah, that's cool. That's interesting. Yeah, yeah, I believe it. So he's suggesting there's some evolutionary benefit to fidgeting, keeping us busy while we're in that fallow state between tasks. Hero Stick says, I'm beginning to prefer the refined action that requires some guidance to close the blade. Okay, sometimes that drop shut action is too quick. Anyone? Hey, I'm with you. I mean, I agree. Sometimes it is too much. Sometimes I love it. I do like it on this, simply because it's like I got to get my thumb out of the way. It's like it's a novelty, but I wouldn't want all my knives like this. This drop shutty. Snuzz. I'm being 100% honest here. I don't carry a knife to fidget, but I do carry a GEC as a worry stone. Yeah, I believe that. I'm more prone to worry stone than flick and slip. I shuffle cards more than flick. Oh, interesting. Shuffling cards. That's cool. But yeah, like that worry stone effect. A knife like this would be perfect for that. You've got the different surfaces with the bone, or the different covers you have on these kind of knives, and the worry stone thing works. Actually, speaking of worry stones, one of the life knife news stories we have is about Anzo's new Jen's Anzo's new Monaco for the urban EDC gear. It's this cool spear point knife. It's tiny, and it's in an engraved little titanium case, or titanium handle, and he's designed it for that purpose as a worry stone with a 1.8-inch blade. It's pretty damn cool. So it's kind of interesting that people are taught that you brought up worry stone, because as we see, well, actually, hey Jim, can you bring up the picture of the? Yeah, look at this thing. It's first of all, it is a beautiful little knife. This is tiny, but you've got a dagger ground blade, single edged, of course. It's a flipper, but look at that. Look at those cases. The cases, I keep calling them cases. The handles are so cool on this, and they're engraved, and the blade nestles almost completely in the handle. So you've got this little tiny package that you can. It's a worry stone. It's a useful worry stone that you can cut stuff with if need be. So I think that this is really cool because it's a crossover. It's a crossover product. Apparently, in kind of examining the EDC enthusiasts carry, one of the things a lot of EDC enthusiasts are carrying these days are worry stones of some sort, or some sort of dedicated fidget thing. I know we had the fidget spinners, but I'm talking about more traditional things like the Beglary and traditional worry stone. So he designed that thing thinking about that thing, that very, very old-fashioned thing that EDC nerds are now carrying. But he wanted to update it as a knife. I think it's a cool idea. And I think they're pretty little knives. They're cute little knives, but I just can't see myself buying one because I know they're probably quite expensive. Todd Carr says, fidgeting is great when you have to break in a knife, though. Got to wear in that detent track. That is 100% correct. And some knives, like I've talked about so many times, and Emerson, you just got to break it in, even the new ones. And that is not fun. That is not fun, Fidget. That's like guiding a troubled adolescent through their teenage years. It's white knuckling the whole time. Did I make a mistake? And then in the end, it's all smooth and great, and you're like, wow, you really blossomed into a wonderful knife. But man, it was touch and go there for a while. So that is not fun. That kind of fidgeting. The Emerson break-in fidgeting. Incognito says, I fidget especially while inside the car. Yes, helps sort my thoughts while waiting on my Whopper in the drive-thru. Nice. Okay, am I going to attack it from the bun side? Well, yeah. Helps clear your mind while you're waiting. Okay, so I'll take that part. It helps clear your mind. Blade hobby. God, I am one of these guys who, after we're done here, if I turn on the TV, sometimes I do just to decompress. If I do turn on the TV, I will see a Whopper and I'll be like, oh my God, that looks so good. But I'm tortured by just looking at delicious food. And all that stuff is wax or whatever they make it out of on TV anyway. Blade hobby. I fidget every day with multiple knives. I work from home, so that's nice. Helps me stay focused while I work. Being alone is easy. It's easy to be distracted. No kidding. I am a terrible teleworker. And I told my boss that. And that's I have opted not to telework, so we had to for a while, and then as soon as I didn't have to, I opted not to because a couple of things. It's like, God, what a shame to be in this room and have to be working. There's that. And then there's I can't do most of my job while I'm teleworking. So I have to write up this fake report of stuff I didn't do every week. And I'm just like, I can't be bothered. So anyway, I hear you. But even at work, I have a couple of I'll bring like a knife or two that I'm just kind of examining and while I'm writing or doing whatever. Fidgeting is the new yo-yo. That is for sure. Yeah. So just to have a messy desk of knives is a great thing, or just to have a couple, like I have to hide them under papers at work because But yeah, helps keep you focused. Zen Ali, good to see you, Zen. Does repetitive slow thumb count? Yes, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because we were talking before about the uh, Chris Reeve knives, but also these are nice. And like an old Emerson is nice to do that too. Yeah, that is. Wagstaff 613. Man, I'm sorry Peterson got to you. Yeah, well, don't be. Don't be. Yeah, I always looking for ideas to challenge me. Sam Harris got to me too, and those guys are pretty damn different. But they're both smart and they both have interesting things to say. Unconscious involuntary. Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you. And now I don't remember what the word was, but thank you. I asked you to define it. I fidget enough without a knife. Give me a Civivi Elementum button lock, and it's like Donkey Kong. It's on like Donkey Kong. So, does anyone fidget with a fixed blade? Because the way you fidget with a fixed blade, I think, is just by drawing it out, stabbing it in the air, and then slowly resheathing it. Remember, guys, if you're fixed blade carriers and whatever, there is never a need to resheathe fast, to speed resheathe. That only leads to agony and pain. And I don't know how I know that, but let me tell you, you never need to speedy resheathe. Okay. You're only going to stab yourself in the love handle. And I don't know how I know that. Lonely Stacker 777 says looking at it for long periods could be sensory stimulation. Do you mean like watching? Because I got to be honest, like that's there are many knife channels I love, but the ones I love, and I don't do this enough in my videos. It's funny, I try and remember this, but the ones I like best, like Jared Neve, for instance, opens and closes the knife a lot. And I don't. When I do close-up videos, I end up holding it a lot and showing it, but I got to remember to like open and close because that's what I like to watch. Sinister Knife says I can't passively fidget while doing something else, but the likelihood of getting bit goes up. Oh, I can't. Okay, yes, it does. It does indeed. Let's see. Last time I got bit was with a fixed blade, and I was trying to do something stupid with it. Six Ply Maple, good to have you here. Is that the Battlestar Galactica symbol? Anyway, I'm a drummer since before I could walk. That's awesome. Every time I'm sitting in my chair, my 2 feet are going nonstop, playing double bass patterns, rudiments. I can't help it. It drives others nuts. I think that's cool. I think that's really cool because as a drummer, you're the only one who can do that and have it make sense. If I'm a piano player and I go, it's stupid. Or if I'm playing the funkiest. I'm playing some amazing bass. It's stupid, but you've got your instrument all around you. All you got to do is be percussive on things, and you can kind of play your music. I mean, I've seen amazing things done with 5-gallon buckets. So those other people should take heed and feel lucky that they have a musician around them who's willing to perform for free. Deacon, good to have you here, Deacon. I value blade geometry and cutting over fidget, but appreciate all of the different actions, acoustics, and felt qualities. Yes, I enjoy a Sabenza action as much as an Oz Roosevelt action. Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah, I'm with you on that. That you could also like look at it across knives. I love that super, super cheap knives, and I love super, super expensive art knives. BD Swain says 80/20 is the most satisfying action. I think my light on my screen is, yeah, there we go. I was looking at a dim screen all night. Yes, it is a very, very satisfying, and that big fat heavy blade slapping around. It's awesome. Incognito Griffin says, "Am I the only one that Spidey flick my Vaquero Voyagers?" Wait. Am I the only one that Spidey flick my Vaquero Voyager feels badass? I can't do it without a little wrist, but yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I say Spidey flick your Voyager. Any man who would do less is less than a man. I got that from a movie, and if you know what that's from, you can, you're amazing. Pro tip: when you when your little son starts playing with his little package too much, get him a worry a worry stone. Yeah, here you go, son. Play with this knife instead. Yeah, worry stone. That's a good suggestion. He's like, it's all right, Dad. I got one. It's all right. This one's much better. Hero Stick says, I added that little Monaco to the wish list today. Very nice. Knife wish lists are a real thing. I have a lot of knife wish lists. So every place that you have a membership, I'm presuming. Mike Flamian, good to see you here, Mike. I fidget, therefore I am. Well, in a way, it's true. I mean, there's no one else making this annoying sound. Shane says fidgeting also helps with patience. So do you mean like it helps you pass time and helps you be more patient? Because it doesn't help with my wife's patience. Don't mean to keep laying down the wife jokes, but it's true. She freaking hates it. And she tolerates it well, but then when I push it too far, it's just like, and it seems like the knives that have the most milling out, the most weight reduction milling in the blade, in the handle, are the loudest because they resonate and clack like that. Look at that. Lots of weight relief there. Dick Richards, good to see you, Dick. Because knives are awesome. Well, that's for sure. A fidgeting knife is important, as it would be inappropriate to fidget with our balls. People frown upon it in polite society. That's true. Unless you're Jeffrey Toobin or you work for CNN. It's all good then. 9198 David, I love some knife fidgeting. I'll sit in my office at work and happily flick and click. Yeah. Well, that's good. And if you have an office with a door, that's especially nice. I do not. Except if I have an edit room that I go to a lot and that door closes and I can do whatever I want in there. That's nice. But sometimes, in Gen Pop, you got to be careful. If you're in a cubicle farm. Gear ND says, point is, we have the luxury of headspace to want to stay distracted or help pass the time, etc. 100 years ago, this wasn't an option when you were always working to survive hour by hour. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it is amazing. To me, it's very important that, when I go to bed, I pray, for protection, for my family, and to thank. And the one thing I always reflect on is, my God, how unlikely is it that I live here and now, and there's never a question when I turn on the lights. I can turn on the water, drink, waste water, take long showers and drink it or not drink it and not get sick. And, worry for very little when compared to the rest of the world. And how amazing is that? So yes, I see what you mean for sure. And yeah, maybe we've lost some of that essential need to survive, and maybe we fill it up with random flicks. Mitch says, hell yes, slow thumb rolls count. A Sabenza slow roll is like an all-night love fest when dating. That's right, baby. I'm gonna open you up right here, and I'm gonna cut something sweet. It's true. I do like the slow roll. This is a very nice knife to slow roll. My Spidey chef. I find that really well knives with lots of bearings, not as fun to slow roll. Somehow I feel like they're a little bit mine if I have them saved on a wish list. Yeah. Does anyone else do that? And it's on the wish list for like months, and then suddenly it's sold out, and like someone totally took this out of my cart. This is bologna sausage. All right, let me show you this new knife I got, because it is so damn sweet. Snuznuz says, come to think of it, I kind of do. I fidget with a fixed blade. I usually just spin it around in my fingers and palm. That's cool. You do that sort of kind of reorient it from forward grip to reverse forward. Hey, Mr. Vicey, how you doing? 256 joining us from across the shock. I stopped smoking, and I have to do something with my hands, so fidgeting helps a lot. That is interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, because smoking, as we know, is not just an activity for your lips and lungs. It's this whole thing. When I used to smoke cigarettes, and I would say I smoked for probably a year longer than was feeling good because I just loved my lighters. I had a cool old cigarette case. I loved opening it up for girls. This is in the '90s, and people smoked. You go to a bar, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, you want to, say, hey, you got a cigarette?" You'd pull like James Bond, pull out a cigarette case and then light it with your lighter and just like, yeah, no big deal. I loved that. And I had to put up with the tobacco. I'm glad to hear, Mr. Vice, that you stopped smoking. Um, and I'm glad that you're fidgeting with knives. I mean, this means the balance is right now. Blade Hobby says, I have my Protect TR3. Such a cool knife. I agree with you. And it is a cool knife, but I don't enjoy fidgeting as much as a manual knife. Am I alone in that? I don't think it's as fun to fidget with a switchblade. I would venture to say automatics are more fun to just open and for the wow effect and the feeling of pushing the button and have the action happen. But part of fidgeting with a knife is the close part, and fighting the spring is a buzzkill. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, at least it is on a spring assist. The whole spring assist is a buzzkill. Fidgety favorites at the moment: the Fitch 1929 and the Cimarron. This damn Cimarron is so smooth. It's unbelievably smooth. I mean, that just caught my thumbnail. Fidgeting with an access lock and button lock is a fun novelty for old school EDC carries. Can't fidget with a triad lock. I beg to differ. And I will show you right now. I'm fidgeting with a triad lock. It's not as fun. Well, certain knives are better. Some of the cold steel knives now you can get out without any wrist, just and it's still a triad. So I would say you can. I would say it's not as fun. Stoolie J, good to see you, Stoolie. It is considered fidgeting to open and close an automatic. Is it over and over? Well, yeah. I've been doing that a lot with the new Boba Fett Boker I got. That sounds cool. Yes, it is, but just not as fun on a double action, I would say. LOL Tubin. Yeah, man, you can do anything over there and get a job just as long as it's perverted. You can do anything and be forgiven. All right, so let me show you this new knife. It is so gorgeous. This is a oh wait, put up Tri-State for a second, if you don't mind, Jim. He If I ever stop fidgeting, I'll probably cease to exist. Tri-State, don't do it. Don't ever cease fidgeting. It's making some cool videos. We've come to rely on them. Okay, so let me show you this. This is from Josh Mason. He goes by Bright for War on Instagram. He was on the show, on the podcast a couple weeks back. And this is one of his EDC neck knife Quakens. Well, I don't know if he considers it a neck knife. It's set up for that. I actually keep it in the waistband with this attached to my belt, and then I can pull it out. And but so first of all, awesome Kydex sheath, amazing Kydex sheath that belies the Turkish knot. I love that. I think it's so cool. You can see that. So let's pull it out. You've got a gorgeous 1095 blade here that is sharpened almost to a zero edge. Well, excuse me. He says frequently he will grind it to a zero edge and then slightly reprofile it and then give it a secondary bevel. So, I mean, this thing is just, I mean, it's very, very, very extremely sharp. It's like it's Steingraber sharp, if not even more. I mean, it's incredible. But very nice in cross section. It still is fully flat ground. It still has a bit of a wedginess to it. I mean, not a wedginess, but when it gets to the top of the spine, it's a pretty decent thickness. But over this stretch, it gets wickedly thin. I'm going to put this up to the mic. It doesn't make that sound that I like, but very, very, very nice. There's his maker's mark. It says J Mason. And then the handle, exquisite handle. Now you'll remember I had him wrap my Elvia not too long ago. He does beautiful Japanese Tsukamaki wrap. He did that with this. This is real ray skin. I think it's called a Tiger Ray, not to be mistaken with a tiger shark. Tiger Ray. And then he's got the epoxy stitching, and then the Turkish knot wrap there. It is awesome. I love this little knife. If you are a fixed blade EDC in the pocket kind of, or you just like a nice, wickedly sharp fixed blade EDC and you want something small and that's easy to carry, you got to check this guy out. Josh Mason, Bright for War. He does. So Bright for War, just so you know, is a quote from a poem, I believe, about someone forging a knife or forging swords for combat, I think, something like that. But anyway, I just think it's great. I think it's great. I also think it would be cool to have him make one and then have him reverse grind it. But for now, I will be happy with this beauty. Here, let me just show you one thing. I love how from the side, the Tsukamaki wrap comes up to alternating peaks. It is just so good in the hand. Just really nestles in there so nicely. So yeah, that's my new knife. I love it. And then this Kydex sheath is really excellent. Now today, I had two fixed blades on me all day. I had this one as well as this. But this one, like I said, I had it attached. I had the end of this cord attached on my 9 o'clock on my hip, the belt loop there. And then this was dropped right in the waistband and just kind of stayed there through friction and pressure from my belly pushing outward. And I used it a couple of times and drew it a couple of times, but just great to carry, nice and light, beautiful, handmade, and not going to break the bank either. This is something I'm just becoming more and more obsessed with. This is something I'm going to be doing the next supplemental on, an update of my custom fixed blade knives. I love them, and I love having having something that someone made. Blood Groove says, instead of smoke breaks at work, y'all, all you fellas need to go outside and take fidget breaks. Yes. Yeah, just go out there and YouTubing. Yeah. James, I don't have time for a slow roll. James the mover, mover and a shaker. Doesn't have time for that slow roll. 1929 is a good fidget knife. Yeah. I find all of them. I find all the Finch knives good fidget knives. How you doing, Patina? Fidgeting with my Protec Mordax tonight. That is a good one. I would assume. I don't have it, but I love that. Perfect subject tonight, Bob. Thank you. You know why? I was fidgeting with this. This is a great fidget knife. The tang is perfect for dropping on your thumb so that it doesn't, make contact with your hand. And yeah, it's just really, really smooth. Michael Morgan, I fidget with my Shaman a lot. Yeah, seems like a very fidgety blade. Hero Stick says the Cimarron is the smoothest of the full Finch nest. Yeah, I keep checking for blade play and there's none. It's really something. Yeah, that is funny. I do that with all of my smooth knives too. I'm like, this can't be real. Snuzz. A dual action OTS out the side is a good fidgeter. My Heretic Pariah is fidgetable. If you like slamming a hammer back and forth, you can use the springs to deploy or thumb stud, but button engages this. Only button engages the spring. Yeah, I like double action. I do like double action like that. That's cool. Wait, if you like slamming a hammer. Michael Morgan says, sweet Bob. Chris McNair. Hello, Chris. If they build it, the junkie will fix it. It will fidget. Yeah. If they build it, yes, that's no doubt. This is a good one too. Kep McNessart, I need to pick up a Cimarron. There are a few I need to get the full nest. Me too. At this point, there are about 4 I need. I need the Tahuna. or is it Takuna? And then the cherry bomb and the sway back, and I think that's it. D-Reel, beautiful blade. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Like I made it. Okay. I'm about to pull this into the station, but since we're talking beautiful blades, okay, I'm back. Almost burnt some buns drooling over knives. Don't burn the buns. I want to show you this. This is one I haven't pulled out in a long time, and I was gathering some of the knives for this coming this next Wednesday's show. Such a badass wrap on that knife. Yeah, I know. I love the way it feels, the way it looks, and man, he did an awesome job. Pixel Jedi said, my favorite fidget combo is my Spyderco Shaman that I front flip too. Nice. And a Thai mini sheepdog frame lock. Ooh, that sounds cool. Yeah, actually, that's how some of the Emersons are most fidgety, is they're incidental front flippers. That wrapping is awesome. It's usually glued on or just knots keeping it in place. The knots, I believe, would keep it in place, but it's also got a clear epoxy on it, so it's rigid. You can't, each where these meet and create peaks, you can't push them around like you could if they were unepoxied. So it's rigid and really textured. It's very nice. Blood Groove. Bob, how did that asymmetrical handle feel in your left hand? Asymmetrical handle feel in my left hand. How did that asymmetrical handle feel in your left hand? Which asymmetrical handle are we talking about? Remind me, and then I'll let you know, because I'm not sure which one you're talking about. But now I'm intrigued. Dick Richards, good night. God bless you all. Christ is King. Good night, Dick Richards. I appreciate having you here, man. And you have a good night, man. Man, sorry to call you man so many times. Have a wonderful night, sir. And thank you for joining us. And as I wrap, I want to show off. This was my first custom knife. And I don't bust it out enough. This is by Douglas Esposito, an attention to detail mercantile. This is his medium fighter with a bayonet grind that I requested double-edged. And this is just got such a beautiful feel, beautiful balance to it. This is a fighter. This is a true fighting knife. It's just, but it's really beautiful with the tortoise shell and the brass liners and all of this and the hollow grinds. I just love this thing. So I thought I'd pull it out and show it off. The ray, since the grooves aren't aligned left to right. The ray, since the grooves aren't aligned left to right. Oh, I see what you're saying. They feel great. As a matter of fact, I think you're talking about this. So all of these Sukamaki wraps end up like this with the alternating ridges. And those, they really do feel great. You feel them on the palm side of your hand, bury into the palm, and then your fingers just naturally find a space on the ray skin. If you squeeze hard enough. Actually, I don't think I can get my fingers to touch the ray skin, but your fingers do find a spot between those peaks, and it gives you a really, really great grip. This thing is awesome. I love this knife. All right. I think that's going to do it. D-Bass. Bob, I was interested in hearing your thoughts on Hinderer Project X. That's right. Okay. It's funny you should ask that, because we just so happen to have it ready to show. I am very excited about the Project X. I wish I was one of those guys that got a chance to get it early on. Screaming Pirate got one, and I think he shared that. I know he shared that with Metal. I'm not sure if Metal passed it along to anyone else, and I know our good buddy Brant had one to show off, but he's thick as thieves with Rick Hinderer, so it's not a surprise. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It's got all the cues from Hinderer that I like. One of the nitpicks that I've always had about Hinderers that I think is sort of addressed here is the rounding of the flipper tab looks nice, but let's talk about more exciting things. The blade looks beautiful, and I'm totally assuming that they're going to come out with different blade shapes, but I love this double peaked clip point Bowie. It reminds me of a Mac V Sog a little bit. I love the handle shape, and of course, it maintains the Hinderer texture, which I really like. That texture continues around to the lock side, which is extremely exciting in a sort of 0.560 kind of way. And the blade is 3.75 inches. It's like perfect. It's perfect. It's like the perfect. It's like the Andella. They had two great things, and they slipped the Andella in the middle. Well, they have two great things in the 3.5 inch XM18 and the 4-inch XM24, and they slipped this one right in the middle at 3.75. And to me, I think that's going to be the absolute sweet spot. So I cannot wait to check this damn thing out. It looks awesome. And I love that they call it Project X. Project X. I think it sounds cool. Okay. Maybe not the way I said it, but the name is cool. Project X. Well, there you go. That's my take on the Rick Hinderer Knives Project X. There are a lot of people out there. Not a lot. There are like 3 or 4 videos out there of it. Check them out, and you will dig it. On the Edge 72. Thanks for a great night to you, sir. Thanks for joining us as always, and have a fine evening. Until next time, sir. Iora, thanks for another great show, he says. Thank you, Iora. Thanks for joining us, man. Always a pleasure. Professor EDC, thank you for showing up and for bringing such awesome weight to the conversation. And by weight, I mean lightness, but weight. Bringing me words I don't know that I like. And concepts. All right. But thank you, Professor. Have a good night. Michael Morgan, thank you, sir. Have a good night. Always nice to have you here and commenting. Byron, have a good night, Byron. Hero Sticks, thank you, sir. Thank you again for all these awesome knives. I will have them back to you pretty soon. Buenos noches, sir. And Senora DeMarco. Thank you. I will let her know. Thank you, man. Kep Mook, have a good night, man. I love that Canadian. Manny Z, have a good night, Manny. Glad you were got to join us here, even if it was a little bit late. Todd Carr, have a great night, Bob. Todd, to you, have a fine and wonderful evening. And well, I'd also like to thank Jim. Thank you, Jim. Always working your magic behind that switcher, making this show look good. Glad I got to participate and enjoy the show again. Work too damn much, snuzz. You do. So you got to take some time every once in a while. Thank you, Mitch. I appreciate you, sir. I very much appreciate you and your video. Go check out Mitch's video of the homages to the knife reviewers. It's awesome. Patina Turner, thanks, Bob and Jim. Good night, all. Good night, Patina. And D-Real, blessings, Bob. And Sharp People, blessings to you, D-Real. And keep your eye on those buns. And I'm talking about the bread you're cooking or bacon. Ed Harrison, thanks for joining us, Ed. Have been listening. Great live, Bob. Thanks. God bless. From Monroe, Georgia. Well, thank you, man. From Monroe, from right up here in Virginia. I like your state. Kevin was wearing my neck knife yesterday. Good topic. Great show. Good evening, y'all. Good evening, Kevin Moore. And everyone else, have a great night, D-Bass. Again, thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure. And thank you for that super chat. Gear ND, take care, baby boy. All righty, man. You too, Snuz. Remember to get your quills, folks. They're in stock again for a short time. Stupid useful. They are super cool. And I think they have a couple of dick pics also. Alrighty, y'all. For Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying, check us out on Patreon. Win a cool knife. Win a prototype that no one else on the block will have. Until next week, I'm here to say, don't take dull for an answer.